7 years ago, I built the very first 4x4 tiny home I ever had in The Sims 4. This was before tiny living stuff, before ladders, before bunk beds, before the university shower that your Sims can walk through. This was built before any of the things that make tiny homes as tiny as they are now.
Hey guys, James here today, and
And listen to how excited I was back then. Let's recreate that same energy.
Hey guys, James here today, and welcome back to another 4x4 tiny home video. That's right, today we're going to be building a tiny home in The Sims 4.
Okay, as fun as that was, let's actually do this. All right, well, the first thing is the easiest, is just the 4x4. And you know what? We're gonna make it a tiny home residential because that's what it is. So 4x4, this, oh, you know what? I need a sim. We need to move a sim in because everything that you do in a tiny home, to be fair, in any home you build in Sims 4, you probably should have a sim test it because a lot of stuff just doesn't work for some reason. All right, welcome Samaj. You're gonna help us test, although we don't need any testing yet. Now, I'm not too worried about hitting the actual milestones for the tiny home residential in the game, though it would be nice to stay in the micro home. But in the original build, you notice we actually added a bunch of stuff around the side to make it look a little bit more interesting. So we might do the same here. Okay, so I know for a fact you can actually make 1x1 bathrooms in The Sims 4 now. So I'm gonna try and do that. I don't remember if you can use a door. So let's find out. So first I'm just gonna get some lights so we can actually see what's going on. So we've got the door there. Then I believe what needs to happen is you go toilet, well, move objects, first of all, definitely move objects. Toilet to one side, sink to the other. We might need to do some object scaling. I'm not sure if these will totally fit. They're not clipping through the wall. So if this works, that's good. And then you just put the shower on top. But I think this is where we might need to scale the items a little bit. And also, I don't know if the door is gonna work. So we might need to just not have a door. Yeah, okay, so literally none of those items work. What I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna remove the door. All right, does that work? Do any of these work? Okay, so yeah, now we've got the toilet working, washing hands working, and can't shower. So I think this may be where we actually need to do a little bit of finessing. I wonder what if we just put it on the side there? Nah, that doesn't work. All right, okay. So this is a little silly, but it works. So the shower and the sink are full size. The toilet is scaled down, but we can use that. Look, to be honest, because we can't even, we're not gonna be able to put a door there. Might be able to do you know what, before we commit, let's just see. Does an archway even work? Because a door is not gonna work. It's gonna take up space. Though archways sometimes work the same as doors. So yeah, I can't use it now. So here's the thing. I would like to have a separate bathroom. To do that, I think we need it to at least be 2x1 so we can fit a door in. So if that's the case, we have to make the bathroom at least this big, right? So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 2x1. Now this, in theory, I think we should be able to fit a door here. Like, I think this will just work. Yeah, so my sim can eat, oh, I got mail. Oh, bills. Yeah, so I can use the toilet, sink, and the shower. Like, and in fact, I could probably make this look a little less silly because at the moment it's all sort of clipped into the walls. I think the shower can just go right by the door, which admittedly is weird. I could probably get a nicer looking sink. And if I just sort of slide this back a little bit so it clears the door. Oh. That goes through the wall a little bit. So all of the smaller sinks that at least visually fit, like we could have it overlap, but I wanted this to kind of look nice. I mean, granted, this is just gonna whack into the toilet if it was a real door. Yeah, all the sinks that actually look pretty nice are too big. So I think I'll go with that. Let's just make sure this works. All right, so we can use the toilet easily. Can we wash our hands? No, we cannot, right? Probably because it's probably overlapping the shower technically. It might need to go further to the right. Okay, I just have to do it this way. I have to have the shower on the side because with the shower in the middle, it just didn't work. But anyway, that's our 2x1 bathroom. Good, that's the layout. So that's good. That leaves us loads of space. Look at this. We do have kind of an awkward, like, where this door is placed, it's gonna take up at least this amount of room. So maybe we can utilize that for something else. Can they walk under beds to get to a door? Well, okay, we're definitely gonna have a loft bed because that's gonna double the amount of stuff we can fit in the same space. We can easily fit either a couch, a dresser, or like a computer or table underneath. Actually, how big of a table can we fit? The thing is, okay, so you can technically fit desks, but desks, you can only have one chair at. I was hoping that we could fit a dining table of the same size, but that technically doesn't work. And if you use move objects with this, I'm pretty sure it breaks both the bed and the table. So then it just doesn't work at all. All right, well, let's come back to that. So kitchen wise, I think we could do, let me go. And by the way, I haven't done any windows or figured out the outside yet. We'll figure that out later. If I did something like this, 3 counters. Now let's start removing stuff because obviously we'll need a fridge. We could do potentially a mini fridge and then we could use the top of that to either do like a microwave Or can we do the oven? This is like a full fridge, right? Cook. Yeah, so the mini fridge works as a full fridge. So we could then, because otherwise if you use a regular fridge, you lose a whole tile of space. But with this adds a spot on top where we can do the oven. The thing we don't have is a stove, but can we do a stove here? But then it's kind of like, why? Does this actually save any space? Because we could just turn this whole thing into a stove / oven, like one unit. The point of doing that is to save space. Could I put a dishwasher under that? Can I do this without move objects? Or does this require move objects? So you can't really stack these two together, which is annoying. Okay, well, what if we just get rid of that then? What if we just have this? So we don't have like a stovetop. We don't need a stovetop. And then sink, well, we could either do a dishwasher here or just use that. But seeing as we got space, why not just do a dishwasher? So that is a fully functional kitchen, right? That's everything you need. Source of food, cooking the food on top of it. You could also just do quick meals. We could do a regular microwave as well, though I guess then we don't have any chopping up space. So wait, what does this limit us to? Let's have a look. So if I go cook, so obviously without a stovetop, we can't do, there's a lot of things you can't do, but there's still a lot of things you can make. Well, if I go back, we have a few things we could do here. If I just use this, okay, then we don't need this, right? Then in theory, we also don't need this. And we can just do this. And you can use that as a chopping surface. So that is also a 2x1 kitchen, fully functional. And then obviously washing up, you have to use the bathroom sink, which is fine in a tiny home. I mean, it is what it is. So now our options. Oh, wait, I thought you could. Okay, never mind. For some reason, I thought you could use this as a chopping space. Maybe I made that up. Maybe that was Sims 2. You know what? That was probably Sims 2 or Sims 3. Okay, so we can't do this. Let's swap these around. So I'm going to put the stove here just because this takes up the full width and then there's not like that weird little gap. And then this one, if I just slide in there, leaves more space here. We could put like a bin or something. Actually, let's do that now so I don't forget. Can you scale bins down? Does that work? Because that would be a lot better. Put that there. Okay, so this should work as a full kitchen. We do have extra space on top of this fridge. So we could also just add a microwave. So then we can also make microwave stuff. So now what does this give us the option to do? So we can do microwave quick meals, and let's have a look at our cooking options. Now we can do everything. The ones we can't do requires like other ingredients, so don't worry about that. That's like stuff we have to unlock. Hang on, don't use fresh ingredients. Oh, I still need that. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, so that totally works. All right, it's our kitchen. Well, actually, you know what? I don't know if it does work. Let's test it. Apparently, I think my fridge is stinking or something already. I don't know how that's possible. Spoiled food is already in there. I just bought it, but I guess we want to use one. All right, well, mac and cheese obviously works. That's good. Hello? Alrighty, thanks. I guess I have a maid. Well, that's good. They tested the fridge and they're testing the sink, so that we know that works. Okay, wait, Samaj, clean this up. Will that go in this bin? Let's see. Yes, the scaled bin does work. That's actually really good news. Okay, cool. That's really good. So I'm pretty sure that all works. So I don't need to worry about that. And to be honest, I think this looks pretty good so far. I know it's all blank, but I think it's coming along. I don't really like the layout of this bed because I'm not really sure where the living room is going to go. I guess we could put a couch under there. Well, let's have a look. So let's hey, I got a question. If I use this small desk, okay, this door it's stuck open. Let me just get a different door. Where's the tiny home door? There we go. Oh yeah, there's no way I can put a chair there. I just hit the door. Or what if the bed is there? That would work. You could climb up that. And then what if okay, I know it's weird because this can go underneath, but what if I put this here? Because I have a question. Can we use the Book Nook kit that has wall-mounted bookcases above the desk? Granted, we could also just use any of these smaller ones, but I kind of like the idea of like incorporating it to the desk. Actually, question, what if we use this desk and make those books usable? I mean, to be fair, we could probably just use these and it would work. But I want to see, like, what if I put these here? Only problem, I think when the walls go down, oh no, I can still see it, that's good. I have no reason to actually do this, by the way. And I'm aware of that because again, I could just do those small books. But what if I had like a computer, like a laptop, where's the base game one? Oh, I have to unlock it. Hang on, thanks base game. So if I have that there, can I get a book out of here? Just read something. Okay, that does work. So then it kind of looks like part of the desk, which I kind of like. And I can still use the computer without having to do like weird stuff. Okay, put the book away. Yep, computer works, good. And because it's a laptop, you could put it in your Sims inventory and then use it as a dining table too for eating. So that's also possible. But we do have, the problem is we got this space here. It's kind of dead, like this whole central section. It's not a good use of space. I'm wondering, should we rotate this whole bathroom to take up this space? Would probably make more sense, right? I'm just gonna move the bathroom out there for a second just so it's out of the way and let me make that a bit bigger. So this is kind of what we're working with. We could completely move the kitchen. So this all works in that space, like the desk and the chair and the kitchen. Question is, can I fit the bathroom into this space? Now, we know this bathroom worked like that. I need a door here though, obviously. Okay, so all of this does work with the bathroom door there. So we could utilize this space now. So what, okay, new plan. What if we move this over here? Have the front door here. So these two doors take up the same tile. So we're not using two separate spaces. Okay, then obviously the whole house is technically rotated the wrong way, which is fine. We can fix that. Oop, wrong button. Okay, so you come in here. This bed is on the right hand. Okay, the bed is also wrong. I don't know what's going on with the ladder. Let's just get a new one. There we go. So the ladder is over there. You know what? Maybe it's better this way. Looks a little silly though. What would we use this for? Huh. I mean, there's no reason the bed can't stay there. I was just trying to figure out if we could put it there, you know, like that also works. Just playing around with some window options. I think that looks pretty nice. So I just got to figure out the last piece of the puzzle. I think we could do a wall there for the kitchen though, because then maybe we could utilize this. Because then we could do, say we use a tiny home couch, we could do that. And then we have extra space under there. And we do the wall mounted TV on that wall. You know, you're pretty close to the screen, but that would work. Okay. And then under there, that's kind of, to be honest, like bonus space. Like we could do lots of stuff. Flower arranging table. What about a piano? Full size piano under there. I mean, in this case, I'd probably just do a dresser. So then we have like the bedroom, you know, it kind of seems like a waste of space to me, to be honest, to do that. But you know, whatever. Maybe we should just do that. And then let's do a nice little side table like this one for the couch. And we got room over here too. You know, I actually removed the bin earlier, so we should probably get that back in somewhere. Can it fit there? Probably not, because the sim will need to use that. This might just have to go by the door, or we just have an outdoor bin. Let's do it outside. I'm just gonna get an outdoor bin. So we'll use just this one. I'm just gonna put it out there so I don't forget about it, because typically I will always forget about it. All right, can we do like a little curtain for the bedroom? Like if we had just had that. It just kind of, it looks like you could pull it across. I know it's still sheer, but I don't know. Does it add a nice little dimension? I think it creates a nice little separation. Now, can we do like windows here? And then what if we had windows by the bed as well? Does that look silly from the outside? No, I think that totally works. All right, we got so much room on this wall. Like what a waste of wall. Speaking of wall, we actually do need a mirror somewhere in this place. I know we got one technically on this, but you can't practice your charisma there. Should we get one in the bathroom? Because I reckon this should work. Let's give it a go. Make sure it works. Okay, mirror totally works. That's fine. This is really nice. I really like this space. Question is there anything we can put on the wall so we have something fun? Can we throw darts over people sitting on the couch? No, it doesn't actually fit in here. Could definitely just get another side table here. I don't know. These kind of seem like a waste of space, but we don't need anything else. We have everything. You know, I haven't actually tested the bed. I probably should test that. Come on, game. Oh, thank gosh. Okay, good. The bed works. Okay. And I can watch TV. Let's just make sure that still works. All right, TV works. Fantastic. Ooh, what about if we have a baby? I guess you could remove this and replace that. Can you put a bassinet under there? I know you can do, oh, not that one. You can do toddler beds under loft beds, but can you do bassinets? Ooh, that could be a problem if we have a baby. Nah, I'm kidding. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. That's got everything we need. And to be honest, I have space left over. So let's make this place look good. Now, the original one, we had like all these white trims. Yeah, do these look good in white? Maybe, let's try it. We can make it look like the first one, at least on the outside. All right, so I'm gonna make this kind of look like our first one. So I'm gonna, first of all, move the house, move it a little closer to the front. This is gonna go up onto a platform, well, not a platform, onto a foundation. And then I pretty much had foundation around like 3 sides of it. All right, I just downloaded the original one I did. This is the original one from like 2016. It's actually, well, the house itself is 4x4. And then I've actually got a whole border around it. So let's do that. I mean, that uses, we got up to 36 tiles from doing that though. The heck, 2016 me. Maybe let's remove the, we don't actually need to do this. So I'm gonna remove the back section because then that gets us below the micro. I know I said I wasn't trying to do the micro home thing, but it'd be nice. Should we make it look, let's make it look like that. Let's do the same sort of thing. This one, here and here, we got a column there. Problem is, if I do that roof, we're gonna go over that. As soon as I put this down, yeah, that's a shame. Okay, let's forget the tiny home thing. It's really ruining what I'm trying to do here. I said I wasn't gonna abide by it and I'm not, so let's just do this. And I need to make the back the same size too. Otherwise it's just not the same. All right, the whole back though was a wall like this, yep. And then this side was just open. And we just had a hedge through the back. I don't know, really interesting. We probably could do the same windows here because that's just where the couch is. So I think that's definitely possible. But I'm gonna change it to these windows just so it matches the rest of the ones I did on this house. Alrighty, and then we did this. I should probably change these wall trims to white. Okie dokie, that's looking good. Is that a gray or is it kind of looks blue, but I think it's this gray. Yeah, it's this one here. So we'll just use this. I think I painted this everywhere, so we'll just do that everywhere. And then this as well. And then it looks like underneath I had grass on this section like that. There's absolutely zero reason for me to be doing the same exterior design other than it's fun to compare it, especially the interior. I feel like this is so much better. I haven't finished it yet. Okay, that lower window inside now is covered, the hedge is covering it, but whatever. Okay, then I think we have these 3 flowers. I mean, it doesn't have to be precise, but that looks pretty close. I think that one's actually different, but whatever. That's good. Yeah, and that's the landscaping up the top there. We do have this thing out the front. Which actually, you know what? Look at this. Fits perfectly like over that bathroom window. Holy moly. That bathroom window is like perfectly in the little gap, which is great because it actually gives a little bit of more privacy. Yes, please. All right, should we change the door maybe? Could do like the black. So I feel like the door should maybe open the other way like that. I like how I included a gutter and then like a drain at the bottom. I just noticed that. So let's do the same. There you go. Okay, this is looking pretty good. It is mirrored a little bit as you can see, but pretty happy with that, all things considered. Let's finish the inside. Hey, my desk! Dang it. I guess I'd move this one. I didn't have move objects enabled. Quite like that green with the wood. It's like a little, you know, a little bit natural. We got the natural wood color, then the green for like nature. Yeah, green for nature. No, I actually quite like it though. And then I did these tiles in the kitchen, which I guess I'll also do in the bathroom. That makes sense. Should we do maybe some lighting that's not as basic? I guess if I scale this one down, hang on, could have them as like lamps almost. It's kind of nice. Now in the kitchen, we also have all this wall space. I guess we should add overhead cabinets. We don't need to because they don't do anything. But we could. Ooh, can we get a basket of blankets and cushions and stuff? If I scale it down, does it fit under here? Oh, it does. Maybe the other way around though. I don't know. It just looks like we're using the space a lot better, you know? What about we could do something like this where we have little pots and pans and maybe some knives. Not really a good spot to put these though. I just behind the stove, sure. That's how we used to do it in my parents' house before we renovated the kitchen, just like behind the stove. Look, if it's already on, there's a big pot there. Kind of annoying. Otherwise, it's fine. These kind of seem random though. Maybe they're just gonna be lower. Then maybe we could get oh yeah, let's get a shelf. Shelf, 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 shelf. Yeah! Oh, okay, the problem is it's a little big. And because we got the window there, we need it to like not disrupt the window. If I scale it, we can do that. And if I put this from underneath that shelf, okay. And then we can probably still place stuff on these. We just got to be careful that it doesn't overlap too much because obviously the shelf size is technically scaled down. Also, I don't want to overdo it anyway with too much stuff. Let's just do some plates there. These actually work quite well and some up there. Okay, just a couple things. It's going to make them more white. There you go. That'll do. Maybe there should be black pots. Okay, you can't really see it anyway, to be honest. Oh, you can see those though when the walls are down, which is annoying. What if I put it there? Smaller? They look so tiny. Okay, these don't work. Because we placed it with move objects, they're always showing up and I find that annoying. So I'm gonna get rid of them. We just won't have them. But we do have this, which is nice. We got some shelves. What about some little salt and pepper shakers just in the corner? Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, what can we do in the bathroom? Because there's not a lot of space. Can we do some of the basic like decorations like toilet paper, which would definitely just get wet from the shower. Don't worry about it, it'll be fine. Can we do hand towels maybe? If I put it there, it's just gonna get sprayed by the shower. I suppose you could do like one hanging, God, this is hard to say, slightly underneath the sink just there, because you could get that, that's fine. There you go. Oh, and we can actually add, I was gonna say, we can add clutter on top of this stuff now, but I've put it in the wall, so. If I move it out a bit, I wonder if it still works. We'll have to play test this, but if we can have the toothbrushes there, that's kind of cool. That's all I can do in there. That's all I can do. Can we do a rug? We could do like a little rug, just here maybe. What's this got? Okay, not that one. What about this one, the high school years one? I mean, that's already a nice color. I like that. You know, I like the default. What about just this? That's good. We have loads more space for stuff too. Like all this like area we can add like decorations. So you could easily add like knitting. You could add friendship bracelets. There's loads of spots for this. Actually right here as well. Speaking of bookcases as well, this is a bookcase. So I actually don't even need that thing. I guess I might as well just get rid of it because it's a waste of Waste of money. Although, I think it looks nice. You know what? I'm putting it back. Because this is the bookcase there. You could add holiday cracker. Don't think I've ever used those. Get a fish tank, or fish bowl, I should say. Loads of room. But I think I'm happy with that. Let's do one final play test. Make sure that all works. Okay, I just tested every single item in the house. It all works. The stovetop and the oven, the fridge, the microwave, the counters. Obviously, when we clean up a plate and use the bin, we go outside now rather than having one inside. But I think this layout and this sort of space is actually kind of nice. I don't mind this. There you go. That's our 4x4 mini home. 7 years later. Let's just have a quick comparison to the old one. Okay, so this is the current one. I think that's pretty nice. Let's jump over here and have a look. So here's the old one from the outside. You know, I kind of think, to be honest, maybe the outside of the old one looks a little bit better just because I got the bigger windows and those sort of shelf things on that side. Though that's the only place I think, oh, well, I don't like the front door. The fact the front door is a big glass window. But anyway, let's have a look at the inside. Oh, okay. So back then we didn't even have the small, like this light didn't exist. So I had to use the big lights. Okay. So we're using a lot more tricks. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, no tiny living stuff. So this TV is mounted on the wall there, which you can watch, I guess, from the bed, which is, you know, glitched into the wall. And then this is our kitchen. Okay, I was almost going to do a similar sort of thing with the kitchen and then the bookcases as well. So now we have the bookcase, the TV, and the radio, which is here, all in one item instead of these three. So that makes a big difference. And the computer we did differently now too. We got the laptop. And then the bathroom, yeah, that's, bathroom's come a long way as well. So this is the original, the old one. Hey, I used the same knife rack. There you go. And then, yeah, the new one.
But let's go back to the 2016 microphone, which, to be fair, this microphone I feel does sound better, but it means it has to be in my face all the time. But it means I can talk like this, like I did back then. Thanks so much for watching, guys. But yeah, no, I think this interior is like 1,000,000 times better. Like, I don't know. I personally enjoy this one a lot more. I think this is very nice. Obviously, a lot of the items have made this possible. You know what else made this possible? My lovely members here on YouTube. So make sure to click that join button if you haven't already. We have weekly exclusive videos. This week, we actually had 2 videos. I was touring a bunch of my members' shells, so we had a look at what they built. And I did an extended cut and bonus footage of my Dreamlight Valley video. So that was just a little bit of an extra one. But this new 4x4 home, if you want to download it, it is on my gallery, James Turner YT. You can find it there. But thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time and have an awesome day. Maybe we should go back to like the full 2016 enthusiasm and exuberance. The good old yelling YouTuber days.